At this hour, the U.S. has hit its debt ceiling, and for those of you at home that don't know what that means, think of it this way. The country has maxed out its credit cards and still needs to pay the bills.
Yeah, and lawmakers both at the national level and at the local level knew this was going to be an issue, especially since Republicans took over the majority in the House. So what's next? That's the big question. House Republicans don't want the debt ceiling raised. Senate Democrats and the White House are calling for immediate action because a financial crisis could be triggered, including the suspension of things like Social Security payments.
13 WREX's Shannon Taylor spoke with two local congressmen about this issue, and they shared their perspective. Shannon, what solutions are they proposing?
And with that clock ticking, all eyes are on the Congress to prevent a financial meltdown. I spoke with two local leaders who have different views on how the country will move forward. Illinois congressmen are debating solutions on how to best resolve the debt ceiling crisis, with both sides offering different perspectives of what it means and what should be done. Congressman Bill Foster believes the U.S. has more than enough money to afford raising the debt ceiling without hurting the economy.
The typical argument is we have to stop spending money that we do not have. And the difficulty with that argument is that we have the money. The wealth in America is 5 times larger than the debt. That we have $150 trillion of wealth in our country and $30 trillion of debt. So 5 times more.
On the other side of the aisle, Congressman Darin LaHood says his confidence in raising that debt ceiling would only do more harm than good.
What I've said publicly is we cannot default on our debt. It would be catastrophic in terms of the economic viability of this country. But I will say this, we're $32 trillion in debt, and we have to make sure that we are having a conversation about how we reduce spending in this country.
For LaHood, making cuts is necessary and the country's best option.
And I've said everything should be on the table, right? Whether that's military spending, anything in the budget has to be on the table. Again, we have to have a serious conversation about getting spending under control.
One of Foster's solutions include a legislation that completely abolishes that ceiling at the long-term benefit of the U.S. citizens and the economy they're a part of.
We should abolish it entirely. I'm proposing legislation, introducing it, which I have in the past, to simply abolish it. They wouldn't be faced with having to pay more for mortgages. They wouldn't be faced with looking at their retirement accounts drop because markets lost confidence in the United States.
Confidence that could be lost if the debt ceiling defaults.
Listen, if we defaulted on our debt, which I don't think we should, and not something that I'm supportive of, it would be catastrophic to people's 401ks, their mutual funds, their 529 plans. Right? People have already been affected with the downturn in the economy because of that, but it puts our credit at stake. It's going to reduce the value of the dollar, and so it'll have a lot of effects on our economy and average people.
Both parties will now head to Washington, D.C. next week to discuss how best to handle that debt ceiling. Brittany, Derek, back over to you.